Riding along, singing my song, next to a great big pylon. Riding along, singing my song. Welcome to another episode. You're probably wondering, what a weird introduction this is. I'll tell you now. So in this episode, this intro hasn't got anything really to do with what we're doing. I just thought I would get out on my 1995 Marin and ride it around in really wintry conditions. In 1998, if you were a fan of Bergerac and you were a slightly elderly gentleman and you had a straw hat and you liked cruising around the south of France with the top down, this is what you'd probably buy. I know what you're thinking, why have I bought this? Well, I bought it because it was the cheapest Jaguar XK8 in the country at the moment. So that's one reason to buy it. What's wrong with it? You're going to ask me next. What's wrong with it? It doesn't start. So I've bought a non-runner. Total gamble. I don't even know if the engine's alright on it. I don't even know if the gearbox is alright on it. I don't know if the brakes are alright on it. But the one thing that did make me buy it, or make me a bit more comfortable about buying it, was the fact that it's got MOT till the 24th of July. So currently, as it sits there, it has MOT. So that made me think, oh, maybe it's not too bad. But again, I don't know because it doesn't start. So I didn't film picking it up because the place we got it from weren't quite comfortable with us doing that. In the future, if we do another episode like this, I will try and film picking them up. But in this case, we've just picked it up and brought it here, and that is it. I've literally pushed it off the trailer there, pushed it round and left it there. So let's just have a look around it. Yeah, we'll just have a look around it. We'll just poke about on it and see if we can figure out what's going on. Time for a tea. A tea for me and a tea for you. I got the key. Nice little Jaguar key with a little Jaguar on the front of it. So yeah, let's just get stuck in. The first thing I'm going to do is try and start it. I know it won't start, but I'm going to try it anyway. It is a bit damp in here, which you can expect from a convertible. Right, so we've got absolutely nothing there. It's also stuck in park, but I will show you how to get a parked Jaguar into neutral with just a few little tools. So yeah, we got nothing on there. So what I'm going to do next is check the battery. So I think that's the first step. Check the battery, see if we can get some ignition lights. If it still doesn't start, then I'll maybe try scanning it. There's an OBD reader port there. I can scan it and see if it's coming up with any faults. It's pretty simple ECU on this, as in it's an early one, so it should scan and come up with something. But let's get it into neutral first, because I had to do that to get it off the trailer, but I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to do that now. That's the first job. I'll do that, then I'll check the battery. We'll just do, there's no particular order, we'll just do it as we go along. Right, that's a good sign. We've got a locking wheel nut. They are the bane of my life then. Right, so this is stuck in park. So we've got no battery or anything, stuck in park, but you want to move it. So I've done this already, so if you undo this little hex drive, star drive nut here, yeah, pull that out and throw it on the floor and lose it. There we go, free with some cobwebs and stuff. Ugh. Right, next you get a small screwdriver, smaller than that. You stick it down this hole here, pardon, and then if you get it in the right place, there we go. So that's gone into reverse there. Push it again into neutral. So now that is in neutral, so you can push it backwards and forwards, and that's how we got it onto the trailer from where it was stuck. The person we bought it off thought, how the hell are you going to move it? Well, that's how we moved it. So that's in neutral now, so that will rock backwards and forwards. So for now, we will put it back into park because it might not necessarily start if it's in neutral. So put it back in park. Also, looks like we got some manuals and things. Look at that, look how nice that is. The gold crested Jaguar there. There's quite a few bits of literature. Ooh, service record. See how far that goes back. HRON this came from, look. Quite prestigious place. Date of handover, 1997. So this should have some stamps in it if it's been looked after. And it has. Looks like it's had a few specialists looking after it in the past. NMM Jags. So yeah, there's a bit of dealer history there, which is quite good. And all the original manuals are with it. I like to see that with a car. And this is a folder full of receipts, history, MOT certificates and things like that. So that's quite good. I'll go through that later. But it's all stored nicely. So that means, I mean, that's a good sign that it's probably been looked after at some point in its life. Oh look, they go in there, look. Lovely. Right, okay, that doesn't close. So, I don't know why, but I'll have to try and figure out why. This is the same as well. I think this is common on Jaguar XK8s. The cup holder does not stay closed. Now apparently that is a common fault with these, and nearly all of them are broken. It's fine when you've got a cup in it, but when you want it out the way, so yeah, we might have to look into that and try and fix that as well. Or I don't know, we'll think of something. Is this oh, that comes up as well. Oh look, there's stuff in here. There's that bit of the surround, which I can glue back on there, so that'll be nice. There's a air freshener. Right, here's a sign. Look, there's loads of key fob batteries in here, old ones. All old key fob batteries. Now, if this car is immobilised, then maybe someone's tried reprogramming these or something. There must be a reason why there's loads of these in here. That looks like a button of something. We'll find out where that goes. Right. Let's check. Let's try and get some ignition. Let's go in the boot and check the battery. Remember I said that this car came with a free Porsche? You all probably thought it was like a 924 or something, like a real car. It wasn't. It was this. This is a Maisto Porsche 956 Le Mans car. Cool, isn't it? Found that in the mud next to this car. Right, ever wondered how to get into the boot of an XK8? That the battery's flat on and you can't pop the boot. I'll show you. Come down here. In between the X and the K, there's a little hole there, look. So you put this in, and nothing happens. Come on, don't show me up like this. Oh, there we go. And we're in. It's a little bit stiff that, but that's probably because it's not been used very often. What we got in here? A cloth. This, I think, is a tonneau cover. Roof's down. That probably goes over it to tidy it up, so it doesn't flap around, I think. We've got a spare wheel. Won't really want to put that on. There's a connector block there that's exposed. I wonder if one of those big fuses are gone or something. Don't know. We'll have to test them all anyway. But yeah, we've got all the little tools and stuff in there, which is quite good. So battery's under here. There's the battery, right. This has been out and that's not connected. Right, so let's just test the battery just to make sure that it's got voltage in it. If not, we have got more, so we'll put another one on if not. Right, I've got my multimeter. Now I've connected that battery because we've just seen that one of the terminals were off and it's very weak. There's light here, the dash is really dim and not all the digital displays coming up and things, so So I got a feeling that battery might be dead, but let's just test it. So that's showing 10 volts, so that's definitely not enough. I mean, it looks like it's quite old. It's got like an NHS thank you sticker on it, so it's probably from like 2020, 2019. Right, so I'll get that pulled out now. The clamp's already off on this, so, and I didn't undo that. That was already like that. So something's going on here. There's a little pattern that we got to follow. So let's get this out. I've got a Yuasa battery in there, brand new one. I'll stick that on, and we'll go from there. Right, Yuasa battery in. Terminals on. Tighten those up in a minute. Right, let's see if we've got any dash lights. Follow me. Right, here we go. Hey, something is happening. So we've got ignition now. We've got some noises. It's not starting there. So I wonder, sometimes if this doesn't know it's in park, it won't drive. So I wonder if that is an issue. Also, it could be immobilised. I think we need to scan it and see if it comes up with anything. I think that's one way of doing it. This key could have forgotten its memory with the immobiliser, so maybe that's what's going on with it. Before I scan it with my launch tool, I got like a bit distracted and jumped straight into trying to fix it. So let's have a little walk around it and just see, you know, point out some of the positives and some of the negatives about the car. The first thing is, tyres are really good. They are a budget make, but the tyres are good. They've got plenty of tread on them. They're not cracked. Alloys seem to be in good nick as well. There's no real scratches on them. There's a little bit of corrosion on them, but they seem to be really good. Brakes are corroded. It's probably because it's been stood for a few months. So maybe driving it will clean them up, but it might be something we have to change. We had a look in the boot. Bodywork seems to be all right, but I think I did see a receipt for some spray work, and they didn't say the extent of it. But yeah, bodywork, although it's muddy, it doesn't seem to be any rust on it or any scratches. So once we clean it, that should be quite good. The interior, sadly, the interior is a bit damp, and I think that is because it's a convertible. So we're gonna have to check all these seals. You know, once we get it running, next step will be to try and get it all dried out and try and get all these, maybe get it all cleaned up and stuff. There's some scratches on there actually, but I think they're just bits of mud. So yeah, it might need, I'll tell you what it might need. Jamie! Jamie is our resident car cleaner. So James, what do you reckon? Do you reckon this is savable? That is the question. Yeah,
I reckon bits are savable on it.
I mean,
it's just dirty in it, that's all.
This hood is one thing. How is that savable?
Yeah, maybe not entirely, but yeah, I can make that look a lot better. We can get in the little grooves here. Yeah. See where all the moss is building up. That would be an issue.
So that would be why it's. Do you reckon that's why it's filling up with?
Quite possibly, it will sort of sit and it will embed itself, and then it will just leak through.
Is that mould?
I'd say moss, mould, algae. It's sort of, when you have water sitting on it for such a long time, it will. Because it is a material, it'll probably So I don't think they come from factory with any sort of like protective. Oh, okay. Protective anything on it, so it just sort of gets wet and it holds the water, doesn't run off. And see where you get in here, where it gets all mouldy, you'll end up getting the water seeping through there, and obviously that's why condensation on the inside. Yeah.
What about bodywork? It's not too bad, is it?
It's not too bad. Let's have a look.
It's just been stood, isn't it? And
it has, yeah. Sort of, you get all in the bits and pieces and all the crevices. You'll find all the moss around the badges and between them.
In the lights and stuff.
Yeah.
So what we're thinking is that's probably, if we can get it running and that, then if you work your magic and see if we can get it looking. No,
I can't wait to get my hands on it.
We see if we can get it looking nice and tidy, so that we can go for a nice drive in it. But yeah, that was the one that was worrying me, is the hood, because most of the cars I buy have got roofs, not soft tops.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of soft tops. Hard tops, yeah, not.
I don't even know if it works, so I'm gonna have to test it out in a minute, see if it works. But yeah, interior, what do you think about that? Is that savable?
I mean,
no.
ooh,
It's, yeah, there's a lot of water in there, isn't
there's
there?
a lot of water, isn't it? It's like a puddle. Yeah, if we can get the seats out, I think.
Backs all that up.
Yeah, that's going to be a good
Wet
job.
and dry thing. What about that? The seat is probably too far gone, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of when it comes to damage like this, that's nothing cleaning can sort of fix. I mean, I can make it look clean, but the damage will still be there.
We might have to send that to Gary and see if he wants to reupholster that or something.
But yeah, things like staining, any sort of dirt, I can get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the carpets will take a good.
They're going to need drying out after as well, aren't they?
Might get a dehumidifier in there or something.
We've got valet mode there as well. Look, there's a button there you press to put valet mode. Well, that made a noise then. You press valet mode and it means that none of the buttons work when you're cleaning them. Yeah, it's making some noises, which makes me think there's some faults behind the dashboard. Look at the dashboard as well. That's a bit mouldy, isn't it? But that's easy enough, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just on the surface, isn't it? A good steam.
This walnut, do you need to do anything with that, or will that just wipe?
That'll just sort of wipe up. I'll get a good cleaner on there just to get rid of any sort of surface dirt.
So
Get
we're
the steam in there.
thinking that this will be. Oh, yeah, that's probably loose because it's a convertible, isn't
Yeah.
it? But it's a bit manky, isn't it?
It's a little bit.
That, yeah. Let's get it running, and then we'll do an episode of Jamie sorting it out, making it look beautiful for us.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. We need you on the chat. You're in the background of most of them. Engine bay, throbbing 4-litre V8. It's not throbbing at the moment, but it might be throbbing if we can fix it. Have a look at this. Look at that. Beast of an engine, but really tidy. It seems to be all nice in here. Tell you what I have seen though, I've seen some rat poo. There, look, that's not good. Not only because I might get wheels disease, but also because they've been chewing stuff there. Hopefully they've just chewed that insulation and they haven't started chewing wires, which could be another reason why it doesn't start. Look down here. Been building nests out of that. They might even be in here somewhere. But yeah, otherwise it looks all quite tidy, you know, it looks like it's been looked after. Could you say that from looking at that? I think so. That's the brake reservoir in there. I think there's a fuse box on that side. Yeah, there's some fuses and things in there. But yeah, that looks quite tidy, but we'll have to get rid of all the rat poo. Tell you what other thing I noticed, windscreen started to delaminate there and go milky. So if budget lets us, and we can get it started reasonably cheap, and we can clean it up and it runs and drives all right, maybe if the budget lets us, maybe we put a new screen in it, because that would just make it that much tidier. But I mean, we shouldn't be concentrating on that now. Need to get it running first. Front all looks good. I'll tell you what, there is a bit here, I don't know if this is a common thing on a Jag, but the little seal for the headlamp here is hanging out. But I could probably just glue that back in. Bumper seems all nice, it's just dirty. But where I picked it up from, it was right next to like a chicken pen, and there's chickens everywhere. And so there's probably chickens poo and rat poo and all sorts. But it wasn't stood there long because it was on the road. It must have been on the road last July because that's when it had its MOT, and I think it was on the road for a couple of months after, and then it was parked up. And it might be, I don't know if it was parked up, then the battery went flat, then the immobiliser stopped working, or if it just cut out or just didn't start one morning. I don't really know, because the person I bought it off wasn't the owner. He was selling it on behalf of someone. So this is a bit of a mystery really that we're going to have to try and figure out. And that is the hardest part. It's an electrical fault. They're always really hard to find. And I'll admit, I'm not the best at diagnostics on electrical equipment, especially when it gets into the technical bit inside the little ECUs and the little modules. But we'll give it a good go. Let's go and scan it and just see what comes up. That might might point us in a direction. It won't tell you exactly what the problem is, but it might point you in the right direction. So let's do that next. Right, so we've got the launch out. We'll give it a scan and see what it's reading. So this is the little dongle thing. That goes in there, nice and easy to access. There we go. Key in the ignition. And again, we've got ignition, but we knew that. So let's go for diagnosis, connecting. Heavy breathing, because I've got a bit of a cold. And it is quite cold out here. See, if it was starting, I could do stuff in the workshop, but I've got to do it in the yard instead. So here we are, it's reading everything. It's connected, it's reading the VIN. I think I might have to type the VIN in on this one, but we'll see what happens. Thrilling entertainment, this. Right, here we go. Correct. Health report. Right, this is the bit that takes the time now, because it's going to scan through the ECU, looking for faults. In the little corner there, it tells me that I've got 12-volt battery, so that's good. There, we've got faults already, look. We've got a fault with the transmission module, fault with the engine module, or engine control module. So, there's going to be something to read on here for sure. So it goes through everything, checking everything. Most of it says no fault code, so that's good. But also we've got 2 here, so once it's finished and it's got to 100%, we will know. See there. So there's something wrong with the transmission and something wrong with the ECU. Great. 2 of the biggest parts of the vehicle. It's funny that you fix cars with these nowadays, not with spanners. Communicating, like we're nearly there. Bear with me, don't go anywhere. Right, 100%. Right, let's go. We've got some problems. So we've got security input there on engine control module, so that could be immobilizer. We've got transmission control module battery supply malfunction, so that could be because the battery's been on and off. And then we got climate control module, we got some failures in the climate control, pressure switch and temperature differential. Those 2 I wouldn't worry about, they are nothing to do with stopping it starting. Well, it's very unlikely. So the problem is, probably not with that, the supply battery malfunction, because that's been sorted. So if I clear that now, that should go. That sounds like it's the problem, security input. So that could be a mobilizer or the keys not connecting to the module. So let's just clear those. So clear, yeah. If I clear that now and see what comes back, anything that comes back is probably, it's not going to fix it, because when you scan a car, it gives you an idea where it could be. That's not necessarily the fault, it could be something else triggering that. But it does give us an idea of where to look, or where to start looking. So all the fault codes have gone except for that engine control module. So once it finishes its rescan, we'll check. Everything else is gone. Transmission's clear, and even the other one's clear, I think. But we've got engine control module still showing a fault. So I'll just check what that is, and then I might have to do some deep investigation. Probably not on this episode, but we'll probably have to get the body control module out, or the immobilizer module, or something, because signs are pointing towards that, which makes sense why it doesn't start. We've got ignition and everything, we just haven't got, it's almost like the key hasn't connected to the car, which would make sense because it says security issue. So maybe we can get these recoded, these keys. I haven't got a system to do that, but I do know someone who does. So we've still got climate control module failure, so that again doesn't really matter, but we got security input again. So P1260 security input. So that is something to do with the security system of the car. So immobilizer module or the keys. So looks like I'm going to be deep diving into all that next. So stay tuned. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Jaguar XK8 project. I'm cold and I want to go home now for a cup of tea. So I'm going to leave it where we got to. We've scanned it. We've checked all the fuses. We've had a look around it. We know that it needs potentially something with the immobilizer, so the keys aren't connecting to the car. So we're going to have to look into that. Either reprogram the keys or the immobilizer module. We're going to have to look at that. So yeah, we've bought the cheapest, potentially the cheapest XK8 in the country. It cost me the mere sum of £1,000. Now, I know you might say that is expensive for a car that doesn't start, but it's a gamble. So if it does start and run, then that's quite cheap, isn't it? So yeah, next episode, we'll dig a little bit further. If nobody watches it, then, well, I'm going to do it anyway. So there. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.